Ready to instantly make your Spanish sound more natural? We're about to dive in and fix 6 super common mistakes that learners make with adjectives and adverbs. Honestly, getting these right is one of the quickest ways to really boost your confidence and make your conversations flow. I mean, you know that feeling, right? You're having a great conversation, you're in the zone, and then you say something that just feels a little clunky. It's almost always these little grammatical tripwires that give us away. But here's the great news. These are so easy to fix once you know what to look for. So in this explainer, we're just going to break them down one by one so you can stop making them like today. All right, first up on our list is a real classic, the adjective versus adverb mix-up. This is probably one of the most frequent little errors, and it all boils down to just understanding what job a word is doing in your sentence. So you gotta ask yourself, what are you actually describing here? Are you describing él, him, the person? Or are you describing habla, how he speaks? Since you're describing the action, the verb, you need an adverb. And that gets us to the core rule. It's pretty simple. Adjectives describe nouns, people, places, things. Adverbs describe the action, the verb. And in Spanish, that little magic ingredient is usually adding mente to the end, kind of like how we add li in English. Let's just look at a few of these side by side so it really clicks. Lento becomes lentamente. Rapido becomes rapidamente. See? When you see the pattern like this, it becomes super clear, doesn't it? Okay, let's move on. Now that we've totally nailed what an adjective does, let's talk about 2 other common little traps: getting the gender right and putting it in the right place. Yeah, this is a classic. It makes total sense why people do this. You learn that adjectives have to match the gender of the noun, so you get excited and start switching every O to an A. But Spanish has some important exceptions. And here's the rule you gotta tattoo on your brain. If an adjective ends in E, like inteligente or ista, it's basically gender neutral. It stays the same whether you're talking about un chico or una chica. So, hey, it's actually less work for you. This next one is all about our English-speaking brains. We say the pretty house, so it just feels totally natural to want to say la bonita casa. But in Spanish, most of the time, that order gets flipped right on its head. And getting this right is honestly one of the biggest things you can do to sound more authentic. The default standard word order in Spanish is noun, then adjective. La casa bonita, el coche rojo. Get this down and you're going to sound so much better. Now, are there exceptions? Of course. This is Spanish, after all. Words like buen, mal, and gran usually do come before the noun. These are super common, so they're definitely worth memorizing, but just remember they're the exception, not the rule. All right, let's dive into our final section. This is all about those confusing word pairs. The ones that look or feel kind of similar, but actually do totally different jobs in a sentence. The source material for this explainer put it perfectly. This one causes chaos. And it's so true. The whole muy versus mucho thing can feel really confusing, but I promise there's a super simple logic behind it. Here's the deal. Use muy when you mean very. Simple as that. It's like a volume knob for your adjectives and your adverbs. Something is very interesting, you speak very fast, muy just amps up those descriptive words. And then you've got mucho. This means a lot of or much, and it hangs out with nouns and verbs. You have a lot of work, there are many people, and the key thing to remember is that it has to change to match the gender and number of the noun it's talking about. Oh, this one. This might be the first mistake every single one of us makes. When someone asks how you are, it feels right to say estoy bueno, but that doesn't mean I am well. It actually means something more like I'm good looking or I'm a good person. The key here is remembering their jobs. Bien is an adverb. It tells you how you are. Bueno is an adjective. It tells you what a noun is like. So you are well. Estoy bien. But a book is good. Es un buen libro. They stay in their own lanes. And for our last one, think about this in English for a second. You'd never say something is more better, would you? It just sounds wrong to our ears. Well, it's the exact same idea in Spanish. The word mejor already means better, so throwing más in front of it is just extra. Same thing for peor. It already means worse. Whew, okay, that was a lot, I know. So let's boil it all down to the absolute essentials. These are the takeaways that are going to help you avoid most of these little mistakes. In fact, everything we just went over, can pretty much be simplified into just 3. Yep, 3 golden rules. If you can remember these, you are going to be in great shape. And here they are. Number 1, know the job of your word. Is it describing a thing or an action? Number 2, just remember that the default Spanish word order is noun, then adjective. And number 3, muy means very, mucho means a lot. That's it. Simple, right? All right, your turn. Let's see if it's stuck. Look at the sentence on the screen. Based on everything we just covered, how would you fix that? Think about it. Are you describing what you are or how you are? Getting that one little distinction right, well, that's the key to unlocking much more natural and much more confident Spanish.